Okay, greetings. That's a whole lot better. So I apologize for that last video. It just apologize for that. So I'm titling this "The Wilderness." So I'll wait a few minutes so we can just pick back up and I get more back there. Um, Wanted to say hello. It's a Monday afternoon, sunny in Florida, 93 degrees. I picked this up by talking about the wilderness, And this is a subject, as I was saying earlier before I got cut off a few minutes ago, that I have not taught because I did not understand it. How you doing, Brother Tobiah? And it's over the past few weeks to really learn this lesson titled The Wilderness. It's not an easy subject to teach or learn because there's a lot of intertwinings with it. How you doing, Lady J? There's a lot of intertwinings when you deal with this subject called the wilderness. So I decided to teach on it and deal with it. It's a very good subject and something that we all need to know. Now, you'll learn about the wilderness, and let me just tell you how the subject is laid out. There's going to be a 3.5 years of tribulation. And Matthew talks about that the tribulation will be like never you've seen before. But the Most High will provide a safety place for those that enter into that wilderness. The tribulation is going to happen. We can't stop it from happening because it's been ordained to happen. It's been ordered. It's been instructed by the Most High to occur. And one of the things people may ask is like, why are we going through these stages? Why do we have to go through these processes in order to get into the kingdom? Because the kingdom is for the righteous. It's for those that keep his laws, commandments, judgments, statutes. It's those that keep Torah. And there's, in this whole world, there's only two ways. It's either the righteous way or the sinful way. There's no in between. If you're in between, you're lukewarm and you're done anyway. So the wilderness is a subject that, again, I have not taught, and at least to my subscribers, and I'm going to dive into it this coming week. I'm going to really dive into it, probably for Friday night Bible study. And it's a lesson that some of you may have heard but not quite understood how the whole process works. So I'm not going to take that call on this one. You may not know how that process works, but I'm going to get into the process. Wow. Okay. So I don't know why my phone did that. Let me see if I can cut that volume off. I can't. So I'll just leave it on. So anyway, we're going to be getting into the wilderness. And I told you that the wilderness is about it's during the 3.5 years of tribulation. And the righteous will have a safety net. And when it has a safety net, it allows us to have protection by the Most High. You can start off reading this in Revelation, the 12th chapter, and it talks about the woman being taken to a safety place. The woman is the church. So when you read that, you have to understand how it reads. And I'm giving you a snippet or an introduction of the lesson without going into the scriptures. Number one, because I'm driving. But I just wanted to give you a teaser on the lesson. So, and the best way to give you a teaser is that there's going to be a tribulation. Most of you all know there is going to be a tribulation. There's no ifs, ands, and buts behind it. It is the next, it's the next biggest thing prophetically to happen is this. So some people are not going to believe that, well, no, that's not the next prophetic thing. Yes, there's nothing else to happen. Everything else has occurred. What is next is this tribulation. And we have already seen the signs. The Bible like very eyes. And what we need to do now is continue to teach this gospel and get prepared for this tribulation. Now, let me just talk about the tribulation, because some people will think the tribulation is a hurricane. Some people think the tribulation is the forest fires that took place. No, that's not the tribulation. The tribulation is going to be caused by one particular system. And on Friday night, we're going to go into who that system is, what that system is, so you can quite understand what it's really about. We're going to be breaking down the word abomination. We're going to be breaking down the word desolation. We're going to be breaking down the characteristics of the abomination of the desolation, and so that you can better understand it. We're going to be breaking down the location where the abomination of the desolation will take place, so that you can understand that, so that when it does happen, you'll know that there is a place of safety. Now, let me just say this. Everybody is not going to get there. Everybody that thinks that they're going to get to the place of safety is not going to get there. You have to have a certain characteristics in order to get to the wilderness. And we're going to go over those scriptures. We will tell you who will be there and how you can go about ensuring that you get there and that you qualify to be there. Yes, there is a prerequisite. Getting into the land flowing with milk and honey, the children of Israel had a prerequisite. Being the apple of the Almighty's eye, it had a prerequisite. Being called a saint has a prerequisite. So everything has a qualification. Okay, so that's what we're going to understand on Friday night. What are that? Who can get there? You know, what are the requirements? What do we have to do now? You know, you can't wait till the day of and start to get prepared. It just talks about many people, it gives many examples and parables, okay, about the 10 virgins who had lamps. 5 were foolish, 5 were wise. Okay? It also talks about the invitation to the marriage supper of the Lamb. Okay? Some will accept the invitation and some are not. Some are going to accept this lesson and some people are not. Frankly, I don't really care if people do or don't. My job is just to talk about it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about this lesson, and we're going to make it happen. That's all. We're just going to make it happen. It's not a subject to be debated, because I'm going to read from the scriptures. That's it. You know, I don't really care what people think or how they see it. I'm just going to read the scriptures and lay it out on the table, and that's it. I'll answer questions with scriptures when it comes to this lesson, because, again, some people are not going to see it, accept it, or anything like that. But my objective is telling you what are the requirements in order to get to the wilderness. Okay, what are the requirements? And where is it at? And how long are we going to be in that wilderness? Who's protecting us in that wilderness? When would that time take place? And again, I'm giving you snippets now. It's going to be during the 3.5-year tribulation. It took me about the last 18 to 24 months to really get this lesson down and comfortable, that number one, I can talk about it. Number two, I can teach it. Okay? Because you just can't come across something and start teaching it. You got to understand it. You got to understand the nuances of it. And this is what good teachers do. You don't just learn about the Sabbath and then all of a sudden you become an expert in teaching it. There's a whole lot of things that you have to learn just about the Sabbath day in and of itself. There's so much in the Sabbath. There's so many things to teach about the Sabbath, other than just it's the seventh day of the week. The Sabbath is, and I just give you an example of I want to go into tell you, it's just, you have to not just know it, you got to know what you're talking about. People don't realize that the Sabbath is a sign between us and the Most High. You can't just say, oh, you know what, we've been keeping the wrong day of the week, we should be observing the Sabbath. And then once you learn it, you go out gun-ho about it. No, there's a lot you got to learn about that Sabbath. A lot. You know, it's bigger than, the Sabbath is bigger than him creating the heavens and the earth in 6 days and resting on the seventh day. It's bigger than that. The Sabbath is bigger than that. So there's so much to teach and learn about all of the subjects of the Most High. In order to get their full perspectives, you really have to know it. So that being said, that's why I've never taught the lesson on the wilderness, because I did not have it where I'm comfortable enough to, number one, teach it, comfortable enough that when I do teach it, if somebody asks me a question, I can very thoroughly answer it, and without being a novice on the subject. Because it's a subject that wow, it just lets you know how great and awesome the Most High is. That's what this lesson is going to do. How he will protect his people, his righteous. And that's why it takes a while to understand this. A lot of people think the tribulation is going to be for 7 years. It's not. We're going to show you how long it's going to be according to the scriptures. It's 3.5 years. Some people think that the tribulation is going on right now. It's not. There's a certain way that you can tell when the tribulation is going to happen. And how do you know that it is the tribulation that's spoken of by the Bible? Some people, every disaster, every earthquake, every hurricane, every pestilence, every disease outbreak, people will start to attach things to that that are not according to the scriptures. They're just not. When you see pestilence and diseases and earthquakes and volcanoes and countries fighting each other, Matthew 24 tells you that these things are going to happen, and they are just the beginning of the end. That's all that they are. They're letting you know that you're in the right time. Hearts of many are going to wax cold. That's all. You know, we're in that. The Almighty's punishment comes after the tribulation. These are just natural disasters that are going to happen and occur to let you know. They said, when shall be your coming and the end of the world? So we're going to get all of that. We're going to dive into all of that on Friday night. We're going to dive into all of that. All of that's going to be on the table so that you can understand what's happening, and you'll be able to know and know when. Because the biggest problem is if you don't know when, and you don't know the signs, and if you don't know the understanding, you are going to be lost. So that's going to be our subject on Friday night. It's going to be a very good subject. I know that some of our participants that we had on the panel is going to be back with us, and we're going to have them be there to just provide comments and stuff like that. We're not going to be getting into anything. We're just going to be talking about this subject. So I know that some have already reached out and want to still do it. So we're going to do that on Friday night. Hopefully Elder Robert Johnson will be back also on Friday night. And we're just going to just have a good time. Last week we were there for 4 hours. I would not be teaching. And the week before, I'm not going to be doing that. It gets too tiring, and it's almost unproductive. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So I have to apologize and take full responsibility anytime I go over like that. So that's not what Bible study was supposed to ever be, and it will never be that again. We're going to have it where it's productive and that you're getting some fulfillment out of it. But I want the fulfillment to be timely. I want you to really understand we are living in a point in time that you really have to understand. Now, I would tell you that after this subject of the wilderness, we're going to be getting into the Feast of Trumpets and what it really means. So remember, I asked you all to read the story about the Jericho, the story of the walls of Jericho and how they came tumbling down. I want you to look at that and get into that. So just going to say hello to, I can't see who's in the chat room for some reason. It's a new phone that I have. I can't do it. I don't know what's wrong. Let me see here. I can't do it. Wow. Somebody just said something and I saw it. Miss B, how you doing, Miss B? Kelly Page, how you doing? I can't wait. Many people are sending money to help to build a homesteading community. I love to hear your take on that. Absolutely, Kelly. I hope that you come back on Friday night and really put that question on the table because it is really relevant. It's really relevant. I will really bring out some things on that. How you doing, Sister Linda Jones, Brother Tobiah? And I would definitely touch on that, Kelly. I think it's a very important subject. People trying to build a community and trying to get, definitely bring that up on Friday night. Please bring that up on Friday night. We need to get, this is why these subjects have to be talked about, because I want us to know what's happening according to the scriptures. That's what I want. I want people to understand so that you don't fall into these movements. And that's why. And I'm going to come straight from scriptures. That's what I want to come from, straight from scriptures. We need to know what's getting ready to happen. Okay. I had somebody tell me the other day, we were talking about the hurricane over in the Bahamas. And there's one particular section in the Bahamas that is, the residence is very large, and people says, well, that group was being whipped by the Most High. And, I sit there and I said to the brother, what makes you say that? Oh, it's their time. He's coming he's doing his wrath now. And I said, show that to me in the scripture. He said, what do you mean? When he comes, it says that the slain of the Lord is going to be many. He's slaying people right now. He's slaying them. I mean, he was really excited. And I just said, brother, show that to me in the scripture. I mean, what do you mean? Haven't you read? And he's going, haven't you read that the slain of the Lord and he's going to put these plagues out? And he's doing his plagues right now. So anyway, thank you, Sister Paige. There's a lot. All of that fits in. Movements that people are trying to do, and they're totally. The only thing that we need to be looking for right now is getting our house in order. This personal house, your personal family in together, because what we're seeing now, laws being changed and moral laws being brought up. When we see all of this now, this is really letting us know we're getting to that point. The hearts of many are waxing. All of this, we're getting to that point. Now, understand this. This stuff has been going on for a long time. Okay? A long time. I was just seeing on the news, and I think this is the anniversary, if I saw the news correctly, it's the anniversary of Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma City bombing. And when that happened, it's been nearly 15 years ago now, I think. But when that happened, a lot of people say it's going down. It's going down. It's going down. People are turning on themselves, No. It's only one thing you need to look for. And we're going to talk about that on Friday night. And it's so in front of us. It's fulfilling itself so quickly that when this thing happens, you need to know that it's going to happen. Because that's what the deceiver does. He has you focus on other things. And when something else is taking place, and it's called side issues. So you get so distracted with side issues that you miss what's really unfolding right before you. So we're going to talk about that Friday night. And so thank you, Kelly. Please bring that up Friday night. I need to definitely address that. So peace and shalom to all of you all. We'll talk soon, and I guess you will see me doing car cams this week. We'll talk soon. Peace. And I may even come on tonight. I don't know. I may even come on tonight. If I do, make sure you subscribe. Hit that notification button. I may come on tonight. I'm not for sure, but just in case. Okay. Peace.